Why is the English language harder to learn than other languages like Spanish?
Well, I get this a lot too, especially with students that primarily speak Spanish at home, and maybe they are trying to learn English, at school, and also Spanish. A lot of times they want to know, why do I have to learn English if I speak English? Why do I have to learn Spanish if I speak Spanish? And if you are bilingual or have that, bilingualism kind of ingrained in you, where you speak one language at home and a different language at school or work, this is great, but you have to foster it. You have to make sure that you know both languages. But English is very hard. The roots and the derivatives come from various other languages. It's an old language. But if we can look at my screen, one of my favorite poems by Richard Krog talks about, illustrates the problems with English. If we can look at my screen, maybe not. It kind of comes into this homophone, homonym issue. And we have words like this that you can see now. When we have spellings here that don't really make a lot of sense because of how they sound, we don't do things phonetically. A lot of this too kind of comes from the fact that people that were first printing books, newspapers, and magazines back in the day weren't the most educated people. And so when you didn't have an F to throw into the word cough, what's next? A, B, C, D, E, F, GH. I'll just throw that in there. So that's why, one of the reasons why we use GH to have an F sound. I know it sounds crazy, and sadly it's true. So this poem, I won't go through the whole thing, but it's up there, so maybe you can look at it. It goes through a lot of these homonyms, homophones that we've been talking about today, why the word tough and the word bow are spelled exactly the same but sound completely different. Cough and dough, again, those four words, all spelled almost exactly the same, and they all sound different. English is very hard, and if you are trying to learn English, I really feel for you, because it's difficult. It doesn't make a lot of sense. There are a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of rules that are sometimes rules and sometimes not. But a lot of it kind of comes down to the way that these languages evolved and how they began. So that's it. It's not really a clear-cut answer, but I can just tell you that I feel for you. It's very weird, and I even have problems with it, and I've been teaching for finishing up my 7th year. So it's kind of a crazy language. But if you have any specific questions about words that you're having trouble with, or sentence styles, any syntax or anything like that, please feel free to send us your questions.